welcome to our program, The Call of Duty. I'm First Lieutenant Ali. Every day of the life of the firefighter, like we always say, they deal with different type of situations, and we are ready here in the state of Kuwait as firefighters to deal with any emergency situation that may occur. There are values and codes we go by as firefighters. I believe throughout the world, firefighters, they have three main values. And what are the values of the firefighters? If we're going to zoom in the state of Kuwait, we have integrity in our job. We take pride when we save people, and we have honor, and that's what we go by. And we work as teams to make sure people live in a safe environment. And today's episode, we're going to be speaking more about a situation that occurred in Farwania Governorate. Farwania Governorate, if I'm going to especially talk about that, it holds over 1 million people that live in that governorate. It's a big governorate, high intense in population. A lot of situation occurred. So we're going to have a special guest. Stay tuned with us after this, and we'll be back. Hello and welcome to our program, The Call of Duty. I'm First Lieutenant Ali. And every day of the life of a firefighter, they know in the back of their heart that they're going to go to work and they're going to deal with a situation. It may be a high risk or a low risk situation, but they're well equipped to deal with any case of an emergency that may occur in the state of Kuwait. Speaking of that, a few days ago, I'm very sorry to say that an expat have passed away in Farwania Governorate due to a fire in one of the apartments. We're going to talk more about that with our special guest today, Private Ahmed Felchawi, and he's going to tell us more about that situation and what happened and how the firefighters dealt with that scene. Private Ahmed, welcome to our program, The Call of Duty. Like we said, a fire erupted in one of the apartments a few days ago, and we're very sorry that an expat passed away. As a firefighter and from the Farwania Governorate, how you guys dealt with that situation, and I'm sure you did the best to save the lives of the people.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, it was very unfortunate what happened to the man who died, and Allah yarhamah. Second of all, we got a call 3 days ago on that shift, 10 past 8, from, we just received our fire trucks. We was just doing a checkup. Then we got a call from the fire directory to go to the building that was on fire. It was an 8-building store. We went there. When we first arrived, it was a situation of the next is following. It was the fire on the first floor. We went up and it was on fire. So we went inside. The fire officer, Shari Tura, split up the team into 2 teams. One to firefight the fire. The second to rescue and evacuate the people.
As a protocol.
As a protocol, yeah, of course. And we broke all the windows to air the building, and everything was fine. We put out the fire, but unfortunately, when we put out the fire, the guy was dead. He suffocated from the smoke that came out of the fire. It was very unfortunate, Allah yarhamah, and that what happened.
If you tell us more about one of the problems, usually in these type of situations, there are certain obstacles and problems as firefighters you guys deal with, beside the actual fire. So if you tell us more about one of the problems that faced that fire station dealing with that particular situation.
Most of the problems that we face on a fire situation, on an accident, is the people. People, they most, like some crowds, they won't move, they won't barge, they just stay still. It's like a show for them. So we need to advise people, we need to let them know, we need to enlighten them that they need to give the firefighters the space to deal with everything. We need to park our trucks right, we need to move freely. The second, people are panicking while we are like evacuating the building. We need to do everything slowly, we need to do everything in order, and that's it.
What about, let's say, the most important thing is maybe a message you like to pass it along to our viewers? I'm sure there should be a gap or a line of trust between the firefighters and the people who are asking for help. Because usually in these situations, people are panicked, like we said, and we need to build that relationship between us and between the viewers or between the public. So what message would you like to pass it along to our viewers in regards of that?
Like I said, the most important thing for the people is to trust us, because we are here, we work just for you guys, to help you, to save you. Whenever anything occurs, you need to call us. We have this line between the firefighting directory and the people. We save lives. We put our lives on the line just for you guys. So if anything occurs, you need to trust us. That's it.
Private Ahmed Al-Faychawi, thank you for being with us in our program, The Call of Duty. I wish you all the best and all the firefighters throughout the state of Kuwait. And I'm sure you guys are working 24/7 to deal with any situation, and we could help anybody that could reach us in our emergency line, which is 112. Thank you for being with us in our program.
Thank you very much.
So now we are experiencing in the state of Kuwait current high rain situations and thunderstorms. And if we look at the weather forecast, that's going to be what's going to be happening in the following days. And there's a lot of safety precautions people need to take, especially when it comes to overload and your powered outlets. Because as we know, the first enemy of the water, it's the electricity. So you need to make sure, especially the people in their houses, any power outlet, if you're not using it, switch it off. That's number one. And if you have any outside wires that are really not covered, you make sure you gotta cover them to avoid any power shortage or short circuits they may occur. So speaking of that, yesterday on a 24-hour period, the Central Command from the Kuwait Fire Service Directorate received around 57 emergency calls in one day. That's a lot of calls. And we have dealt with all these situations, starting from Jahra Governorate all the way to the capital Governorate in the state of Kuwait. We're going to be having a special guest, Major Ammar Qbail, and he's going to be talking more about the safety precautions that the people need to be taken. Stay tuned with us. We'll see you after this.
Let me introduce the main emergency exits in our house. The first exit is the main entrance, or find the nearest exit near you. Fire! Fire! Let's get out! Help! Help! With the Prevention Act, we'll save our lives.
And welcome back. As we've talked to one of the firefighters, and moving on from the Farwaniya Governorate to another situation that is happening in the state of Kuwait. In the few following days right now, we're going to experience heavy rain and thunderstorms. It's going to be throughout the state of Kuwait. and what are the safety measures that the people need to take to avoid any major situations. We're going to be having a special guest from the Public Relation and the Media Department, Major Ammar Al-Hbeil, and he's going to tell us more about the safety precautions that the people need to be taken to avoid any harm. Welcome to our program. حياك الله معنا الرائد عمار الحبيل. لو تخبرنا عن الاحتياطات الواجبة على المواطنين المقيمين اتباعها لأخذ الحيطة والحذر من الأمطار والحالات اللي تشهدها حالة الكويت في الوقت الحالي.
أول شيء حياك الله ملازم أول علي. طبعا بالبداية إذا الواحد بياخذ الحيطة والحذر، أول نقطة أساسية أن اليوم إحنا في هذا التطور يفترض أن الناس تعرف أن في عاصفة عندنا مشكلة راح تصير. يعني بالنسبة حق الحادثة اللي صارت أو العاصفة اللي يعني قبل ساعات الإدارة العامة للإطفاء نزلت وعي أو تحذير في مواقع نقول إحنا التواصل الاجتماعي في التلفزيون، إنه يا جماعة ديروا بالكم ترى في عندنا حريق، في عندنا عاصفة راح تكون موجودة خلال ساعات. فأفضل شيء اليوم إن إحنا نعرف، خاصة في الوقت هذا وقت السرايات، الواحد يعرف إنه ممكن يصير عندنا أي مشكلة. أنت إذا عرفت إن في عاصفة راح يفترض منك إنك تكون في مكان آمن. أفضل شيء اللي هو طبعا في بيتك. النقطة الثانية اللي تحطها بعين الاعتبار إن المصاعد اللي موجودة في البيت يفترض إن ما نستخدمها خلاص، مجرد ما إن نعرف إن طق المطر ما نستخدمها، لأن يعني صار عندنا بالأمس حالات كثيرة من تعطل المصعد ويكون داخله ناس، فيفترض إن إحنا ما نستخدمه. النقطة الثالثة اللي هو الكهرباء، إن يا جماعة ديروا بالكم خاصة اليوم في ماي، وإحنا نعرف إن الماي عدو الكهرباء، ممكن يصير عندي حريق، ممكن وصار في بعض يعني أكثر المناطق، يعني إحنا نقول خلال ساعتين أو 3 ساعات من العاصفة صار عندنا يمكن 58 حادث. أغلبيتهم يعني صاروا فيها 3 ساعات. يعني تخيل إحنا طبعا كان يومين العاصفة، في يعني نقول إحنا في كل ليلة كان عندنا مثل عاصفة ومطر. والنقطة الرابعة الأساسية إن يا جماعة إذا أنتم كنتوا في الشارع، يعني أنتم محتاجين لازم إن تروح حق مكان آمن. لا تكون أنت في سيارتك واقف، ممكن لا سمح الله يصير وياك أي شيء، مجرد ما سمعت أي خبر اتصل عليك أي أحد، حاول إنك أنت تكون في مكان آمن. وطبعا الحمد لله مراكز الإطفاء يعني تستقبل الناس إذا كان في عندها أي طوارئ، وأي مكان آمن، لأن المبنى يكون لك أأمن من السيارة، خاصة إذا كنت في مكان نازل. يعني بالأمس يعني حادث، ويعني كان حادث جدا صعب، إن شخص انحشر داخل سيارته. يعني تخيلوا مطر وشخص محشور ويا عائلته داخل سيارته، والماء محاوطهم من كل مكان وما قدروا انهم يطلعون. فانت لا توصل نفسك لهذا الحادث. حاول انك انت تاخذ الحيطة والحذر قبل لا يصير وقت المطر او وقت العاصفة.
كل الشكر لك الرائد عمار الحبيل من إدارة العلاقات العامة والإعلام على المعلومات المهمة اللي أثريتها علينا لأعزاء المشاهدين، ونتمنى بأن أعزاء المشاهدين يعني مثل ما نقول ياخذون الحيطة والحذر والاعتبارات اللي هذه قلناها لتقليل من نسبة أي حادث ممكن أو طارئ يحدث في المستقبل. كل الشكر لك معنا، ونتمنى للسلامة للجميع إن شاء الله في المستقبل.
آمين. حياكم الله. وإحنا مثل ما قلنا إذا في عندكم أي بلاغ أو شيء، عندنا 112 يعني 24 ساعة موجودين في الخدمة، وإن شاء الله أي شخص ما يشوف أي مكروه.
It was an unusual day in the state of Kuwait on Wednesday, as most parts of the country experienced thunderstorms with torrential rainfall that resulted in floods in many areas, such as extended that some schools, institutes, and individuals were closed down. Accidents that occurred in various locations during the storm resulted in the death of a Kuwaiti citizen and injured 8 individuals reported. According to the Director General of the Kuwait Fire Service Directorate, Lieutenant General Yusuf Al-Ansari, the accidents occurred on the 6th Ring Road and Jahra Highway. Large puddles of water prevented many residents from exiting their areas. About 210 complaints were received at the control room through the hotline at 112. A traffic officer, firefighters, and paramedics dealt with those complaints. Welcome back, and now we're going to be talking in the most important section of today's episode, and it's the awareness section. In every episode, I always try to zoom in and stress on this section, because the more people are aware of the precaution and the safety measures, the less problems we could deal with and you could deal with in your house, and you could avoid these situations or the danger zones. So in today's episode, what I'm going to be talking about is, let's go back real brief about Farwaniya and what happened in Farwaniya situation. That fire, when it erupted, the investigation in the Kuwait Fire Service Directorate indicated that it was due to an overload in the power outlets. That is one of the major problems that we're dealing here in the state of Kuwait. Make sure that at all times when you have a power outlet, don't overload it, and once you're done with that power outlet, turn it off at night. That's for your own safety. So that will be our first message for today's episode. Our second message is at all times, if you experience any situation, it gets out of hand, you need to call the emergency line 112 without panicking. I know panicking is a problem, but we could manage that panicking by practicing the evacuation plans, especially in the apartments in the small areas. So practicing the evacuation plan with your family, it is very essential. With that, I will leave you for today's episode, and I will see you next week with another episode from the Call of Duty. I wish you all the best and stay away from the fire. Goodbye for now.